up, everybody? Welcome to the Dead Drop Podcast. This is episode number 26. I am your host, Jon F. Merz. Welcome, as always. So, first off the bat, you will notice that I am a little scraggly tonight. If you're listening to this podcast, you won't be able to see this, but it's not my best look by any means. But the reason why I haven't shaved is because a lot of times when I have a job coming up, I actually will go without shaving for a while and then shave on the day of the job, just because I get a better clean, close shave doing it that way. I'm not one of those people that can shave every single day. My skin hates it, so I've been growing it out for a couple of days now. As you can. If you're watching this, as you can see, it's a little salt and pepper. It's a little splotchy in places, but that's kind of how it goes. So so I have a job on Friday for, I think it's print, for a well-known software company, I think, or a storage company, or both. Could be both. I haven't looked up what they do in a long time, but they're fairly well known. So I believe that's going to be a print job. So Friday afternoon, I'll be doing that. My call time is 1:15 in the afternoon, which is nice. Means I get to sleep in on Friday. I don't have to be on set at the crack of dawn, so to speak. So because I have that job, I had to get my very first COVID-19 test this week. So yesterday, found a place up in Framingham, which is about a half an hour from where I live, and had to go up there to a middle school where they were doing free testing, which was really cool. And got there at about 8:40. They started at 9 o'clock, and by the time I got there, they were already around the building and then some. There were probably... My estimate was that there were 50 cars ahead of me. I think, in retrospect, seeing how long it took me to get through it, there were probably about 250 cars ahead of me at the time. So, yeah, it was about, from the time they started until I got out of there, it was almost a 2-hour process. And I came through and did the swab up in each nostril. And the nurse that did it to me stayed up there for a while. Yeah, she was enjoying being in my nasal cavities. So really kind of cool. Anyway, I got my results this morning, so it was super fast. It was awesome, and of course it was negative, since I've been taking all precautions, as we used to say when I was doing my first responder training. We talked about back then we were dealing with people who had HIV, AIDS, that sort of thing, and instead of letting our coworkers know if they were HIV positive or not, often we would just simply say, take all precautions. And that was sort of the code word, the key word for letting them know that we were dealing with somebody who may have been immunocompromised. So, but anyway, I got my test results back. I am negative, so I am cleared to work on Friday afternoon. That'll be a fun job. It's only a couple hours, so not too long. So last week, excuse me, after I record this on Wednesday nights, and then it seems like on Thursdays I always get these interesting emails that come in, and last Thursday was no exception to that. I got an email from a casting director who wanted me to audition to play the lead in a new true crime series that's being shot up in Maine. So I believe I would be playing the bad guy in that, if I get it. I haven't heard back yet on it, and it does shoot next week. So at this point, I'm not sure if I'm in contention or not. Quick side note, that was thunder that you heard, and I am hoping to get all the clips recorded for this podcast. We've already lost power once, so hopefully the storm will play nice with me and allow me to get this podcast done and saved before it cuts out the power again. So it's just a ferocious blasts of wind neighbors next door had a tree come down across their driveway. So that'll be interesting to see how long it takes them to get rid of that. So, but anyway, going back to the true crime thing. So I was asked to read for the lead in that. I take it I would be playing the bad guy, since I basically, from what I can tell about the storyline, I end up murdering my wife. So we'll see. So that came in on a Thursday, and it had a submission deadline, excuse me, of this past Monday. But I turned it around and just got it in nice and early. I think it was on Friday, or was it on? Yeah, I think it was Friday. I can't remember. So anyway, that's what's going on there. So it would be interesting to do that, and it's about a week shoot, and it takes place up in Maine. So I have worked with this particular production company before, and actually this casting agent before as well. But it was really nice that she reached out to me directly to ask me to read for this. The time that I worked with them before was last December, before all this crazy pandemic stuff started happening. And it was for a series on the Smithsonian Channel called America's Hidden Stories. So season 1 is out. I was, my presence in that is for season 2, which has not yet come out, mainly because when the pandemic hit, they were smack dab in the middle of filming season 2. But since they have, since they have been contracted by the Smithsonian Channel for, I think, at least 3 seasons, it's definitely coming out at some point. I just have literally no idea when it might be coming out. It's one of those things where, coronavirus shut down everything. Everybody's working from home. I was just on the website of this production company, and they were talking about how everybody in the office is still working remotely. At least that was their last blog entry, which is from a couple of months ago, so maybe things have changed. But they were talking about getting episodes edited for that specific series. Ironically enough, the episode that I appear in is the title of the episode is Vampires in America. So there you go, right? Figures the guy who writes vampire stories is asked to be in the episode Vampires in America. Even more compelling is the fact that I play a pastor, but we're not gonna necessarily go down that road, because the idea of me playing some not puritanical type, but definitely a very stoic religious man is kind of comedic to me. But regardless, I had a blast when I was on set last December. Like I said, it was we filmed that on a day after a pretty big snowstorm, so I had to get up super early, make my way out to the shooting location, which was Old Sturbridge Village. If you know anything about local Massachusetts history, it's sort of one of these like Plymouth plantation type places where they sort of freeze a moment in time, and then it's a tourist attraction. But they also rent it out to movie and TV studios as well, who are looking to do productions. So that took place there. Again, I had like the most ridiculous wardrobe. It was incredibly ill-fitting and tight and uncomfortable, and like thick wool and just itchy, scratchy types of stuff. But it was interesting nonetheless. It'll be fascinating to see when this comes out, specifically because, and I don't know if I've detailed this before, but I'm supposed to be in the scene writing at my desk. I'm supposed to be writing a letter. So I get on set, and they show me where I'm going to be setting up, and they say, okay, so you're supposed to be writing a letter in this scene. And I say, great, that's no problem, no issues. And they said, okay, great, we're going to get you a quill and an ink bottle. And when's the last time you wrote in cursive? and I went, it's been a while, first of all, that since I've written in cursive. And let's go back to the quill for just a second. That was never mentioned in any of the audition specs or anything like that. And they said, yeah, don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. We've got a couple of pieces of paper for you over here to practice on. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever written with a feather before. It is not easy. So they brought me over a couple of practice sheets of parchment paper and an ink bottle, and I set to work pretty much smearing the living crap out of all the ink across that paper. And I was, they had lines that I was supposed to be writing, and they were going to be over your shoulder, watching you as you're writing this. And I'm thinking to myself as I'm trying to practice this, you're going to have to do some amazing work in post to make this look good, because my handwriting, first of all, sucks. Second of all, my cursive writing is not the best. Third of all, this is the first time I've ever written with a feather before, and it looks atrocious. Needless to say, when this episode comes out, I will be very interested to see what they've done to try to correct my grotesque handling of the quill feather. But anyway, the True Crime series is with the same production company, and they were all awesome. They were amazing, super cool. Love the director; she was great, and I'm looking forward to possibly. You know what? Let me check my. I do not have an email yet, so watch. It'll come in tomorrow. After I've already recorded this for the week. But regardless, we'll see if I end up booking it or not. Also, I had a question for my agent that I thought I would just kind of go over, since if you're like me, you like these glimpses into the movie TV industry, and since this is my first foray into feature films, I'm not really sure what's going on. So come along with me on the ride, and we'll take it together. I have not, since booking this role in this feature film, Mother Android, I have not heard from the production aside from the email from the director, which was awesome, and an email from the costume designer checking my sizes and making sure that all of that was accurate. Apart from that, I haven't heard anything. So since this is an actual role and not background work, my thinking is that, well, I should probably be seeing a script, and I should probably be seeing a contract, neither of which I've gotten yet. So I touched base with my agent a couple of days ago and said, not sure if this is how this works, but I haven't seen anything yet. Should I be worried? Should I be asking them about it? And he wrote back and he said, you will absolutely be getting both of those things. He said, but since you're not due to shoot yet for another month, he said it's probably, a little bit too early to worry about that yet. He said, if you don't hear anything by next week, he said, let me know, and we'll reach out to them and just make sure that everything's on the up and up, and they're going to be getting that stuff over to you. But so that was kind of cool. So I mean, I'll get an actual contract for being in this movie, which I can't wait for, quite frankly. I just want to take a picture of it, take a copy of it, and kind of put it in a frame and hang it on the wall. It's the craziest thing, honestly. The more stuff I go through in life, the more crazy experiences I have. I just kind of chuckle to myself and go, keep them coming. Why not? Let's go for it. Let's see where this crazy adventure lands us. So I'm excited about that. I'm really looking forward to it. Finally, this afternoon, I got contacted by both of my agencies for a car commercial, which always kind of bums me out. So for Boston and sort of Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, I'm represented by Maggie, and then for Upper New England, I'm represented by New England Model Group. And both of these agencies are fantastic. I love everybody that works there. They're just always the best. They have your best intentions and best interests at heart. But since this commercial is for a casting agency here in Boston, um, I always have to defer to my Boston agency. Even though, generally speaking, NEMG usually beats the email race with my Boston agency. I usually get an email from NEMG first, and then my Boston agent will contact me. But since Maggie is my primary for Boston, I'm obliged to go with them because it wouldn't be right otherwise. And NEMG, they're fantastic about it. They know that I'm repped, that I have two agents basically, and I just always explain to them, sorry, it's a Boston thing. I have to go with Maggie, and they're like, all right, no problem. We just wanted to make sure that you were in the loop on it and getting the information on that shoot. So I have to. That's just a photo submission, so that'll be. I'll send over my headshot and then a close up, and then I have to do a close up on that. That's going to present some challenges because I am growing out the old beard here. Now I'll have to use a current selfie that's not exactly current. Sometimes you have to do that. Fortunately, I take a lot of selfies, and I'll just send one over that I've used, that's not too old, and then a head to toe shot as well, and then go from there. We'll see if it's I think it's a national commercial, so we'll see. It'll be interesting to see if we get it. But that is about it on the acting front for this week. A bunch of stuff, but that's good. It means productions are popping up again, and that's always a good thing, especially considering how long things have been shut down for because of the coronavirus. And I just heard about another movie that's coming that's going to be shooting for Netflix this next month in Boston in November. So who knows? Maybe I'll be asked to audition for a role in that. That'd be kind of cool. So anyway, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, so what's new on the writing front? So you guys know that I am currently working on a bunch of short stories for the Night Frights project. And Stringer is the one that I am currently working on right now. So that's coming along nicely. That's a creepy one. I'm having a good time with that one. I don't want to give away any details about it yet, but when I do that one for Night Frights, it's gonna be a good one. Can't wait. I have probably about 2,000 more words to write in that. Yeah, it's so funny too because when I write a novel, the words come fast and furious. Short stories for me are an entirely different beast, and it takes more time to write a short story, at least for me, than it does a novel. Like, proportionally speaking, let's put it that way. In other words, if I can bang out, 6,000 words a day on a novel, when I do a short story, it's, maybe 1,000. So you're looking at about a week's worth of work for each Night Frights segment because the segments are about 7.5 to 8 minutes long, at least right now. And so it's definitely, proportionally speaking, I get more progress done on the novel than I do on the short story. It's interesting. So 30,000 words. If I did 6,000 words a day on a novel, it's 30,000 words per week versus 4,000 to 5,000 words per week on a short story. So that's why I don't write a whole lot of short stories, because I don't feel like I'm maximizing the use of my time, even though I really enjoy writing short stories. So I'm gonna have to figure that out, see why it is what it is. Could just be the nature of the beast. I'm not entirely sure, but Stringer is coming along really nicely, like I said. And then last night I had this crazy idea, as I often do. I'm not gonna lie. Things that pop out in the head aren't always like the most logical thing to do. Like, hey, John, you've got an already overflowing plate as it is. How cool would it be if we threw another thing onto that plate? But when I do get those ideas, I tend to enjoy them a lot. and it sets the mind cruising. So I came up with an idea last night, and I started writing the screenplay for it today. So it is not a feature film, which would be daunting, to say the least. 90 pages of a screenplay. It is nowhere near that. It is a short film, however, but it's only going to be about 15 to 20 pages long. I haven't even told Chris, my partner over at POUNDCAKE, about it yet. Although if he watches this, he'll probably start texting me as soon as he watches it, going, "What the hell's that about?" So I'm hoping to have it done tomorrow. I did 10 pages today, so we'll see. We'll see where that goes. But it is it's a horror short film, and I would really like to try to get it made and released by Halloween. That's the plan right now. Plan in big time quotes, because I do not know if it's going to be possible. But if I can get the screenplay written this week, and we can storyboard it next week and lock down the talent, and then shoot it the week thereafter. What's today? Today's the 7th. All right. So if we get it storyboarded by the 14th, we get a shot by the 21st, thereabouts. Technically, we could get post done by Halloween and have it ready for release. Is this going to work? I have no idea. Like, for example, if I end up booking that role up in Maine that shoots for a week, that could torpedo the entire thing. I don't know. But if we can, it would be something really fun to have available for everybody to watch on Halloween. I mean, Halloween, it's my favorite holiday. I always feel like doing a bunch of stuff in the month of October. It's my birthday month, as you all know. And it motivates me to try crazy things. Just, why not? Let's just go for it. We may not meet, the deadline, but hey, at least we tried. At least we had some fun with it. So that is the plan. Like I said, it's going to be a short movie. Probably can't even call it a movie. It's got the 3-act structure, so maybe you could. But it's only going to be about 15 to 20 minutes long, which means a 15 to 20 page screenplay. So that's still going to be very challenging to shoot. Now, Chris and I have a really great team assembled, and the actors that we like to work with are all super professional. So we do tend to get through a lot of pages of screenplay when we go to shoot, which is a great thing. Very great thing, because it makes it a lot easier when you are working with people who are professionals, who know their job and know their lines and know what we're looking for. It makes it that much easier to get through a project and get the best performances out of people. So with that said, I've already reached out to one of the people that I would like involved in the project, and they're definitely interested, provided that the timing works out, because they've got their own some other stuff that they're working on as well. And I've got to get the screenplay done as soon as possible. I don't think I'm going to get any more work done on it tonight, specifically because I was filming Dead Drop, first of all, and second of all, the vice presidential debate is on tonight. Although I did promise myself I was not going to watch any more of these stupid debates after the shit show that was it last week or the week before? I forget. That happened then, because that was just god awful. Any which way you cut it. But anyway, I'm not going into politics. Calm down. I know some of you are a little like, Jon, I don't really like it when you talk politics. Well, I get that, but also understand that I happen to think the fate of the country is at stake right now. So, and not because we might be looming closer to socialism. Please don't get me started on people that get so concerned about that but have no fucking clue what socialism is to begin with. So anyway, I believe I made my feelings about Trump known before, so we will not retread that territory. But suffice it to say, I am going to tune in tonight specifically because I hope Kamala shows up on stage driving a steamroller and proceeds to flatten Mike Pence, who I happen to think is almost, if not more so, worse than Trump. So there. That's politics for you. Not going to do it, but hey, I just did it anyway, so yeah, please don't send me an email going, you just lost a reader. Don't care. Okay? Really don't. If, my political stance makes you not buy my books ever again, you probably shouldn't have been reading them in the first place. That's the long and the short of it. I'm sick and tired of playing footsie and walking on eggshells around people who call other people snowflakes but are actually more of a snowflake themselves. Do you know these people? Yeah, oh, how dare you offend me? War on Christmas. Give me a break. Get a life. So anyway, yeah, that is it for writing this week. So my crazy plan to get a movie made before Halloween. We will see how this works out. If it does work out, it's going to be fun. It's going to be cool. I promise you that. We will have some fun with it, and hopefully we will get it. We will get it done. I don't know if we can. I don't know. This time next week, I may be in Maine. I may be doing a bizarre version of this podcast this time next week. Who knows? We'll see. And we will be right back, and we'll talk about some other stuff. All right, so we were talking about Night Frights earlier. Episode 2 came out last night. How many of you saw it? Raise your hand. I saw it. I made it, so I had to see it. But not a lot of you have actually watched this yet. A whole bunch of you watched episode 1, which was awesome. Thank you so much for doing that. This time last week, I was talking about Night Frights for the first time, saying that 24 hours from now, you would be able to watch the first episode of it. It's weird how this works. I film on Wednesdays, and you guys see it on Thursdays, but regardless. Episode 2 came out last night. All the episodes coming out in the future will be out on Tuesday evening. So you get through Monday. I know, Mondays suck. Get through Monday, and then you get through Tuesday. You come home, you have dinner, around about 7 o'clock. Maybe you're winding down, a little cocktail, a little glass of wine, maybe you're brewski. Maybe you're putting a fire on, just relaxing, coming down from the day. You think to yourself, you know what? It's October. I could use a spooky little tale, get me in the mood. And a little couple of shivers up and down my spine a little bit. You like that dance move? It's what I break out on the dance floor. It's amazing. Tune into YouTube, youtube.com/PoundCake Media. Look up Night Frights. We have a playlist out there now that there are 2 episodes. Watch them back to back. I guarantee it's a great way to just sort of take it down a notch. And at the same time, get a little spook going on there. Spooky season. May as well feel a little trepidation in the air. It's getting a little cooler out there, depending on where you live. I saw temperatures for California and Arizona the other day. It's still insanely hot out there. I do not know how you guys put up with that. I get to, lately, last couple of years, I get to like the end of July, and I'm like, I'm done. Bring on fall. I need like 4 seasons. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. But yeah, it should be getting cooler in most places. So that's a good thing to put on. And you should definitely be checking out Night Frights because it's a lot of fun. It's not me like this. It's me very much like, welcome to Night Frights. I'm your host, Jon F. Merz, kind of thing. That's the vibe we're going for there. Maybe a little Vincent Price-esque, even though I sound and look nothing like Vincent Price. But that's the big thing right now. So when you go out to YouTube and you're catching up on Dead Drop episodes, maybe throw a like and a share over at Night Frights. We would love it if people were sharing the episodes around social media and just letting your friends know, hey, this author that I happen to like, when he's not talking about politics, is doing this thing where he's reading his stories by the fire. It's kind of creepy. It's kind of cool. You should check it out. That's all it takes. Or just click on the link button, the like button below the video. That works too. We love that. Leave me a comment. I love the comments. I got a great comment last week from my buddy Eddie. Shout out to Eddie. Thanks, brother. Appreciate the awesome comment on the first episode. And yeah, you guys should all be checking it out because it's a lot of fun. It's not a bad way to spend the evening at this time of year, being entertained by somebody reading in front of a fire. How does that not harken back to a cooler time when people just would tell you tales to entertain you? Almost like a bard or a court jester, except I'm not a court jester. But yeah, so head on out. Like I said, episode 3 will be released next Tuesday. There are 5 episodes for this first story, The Longest Walk. And then we will move on to story number 2, The Witch of Vine Brook. And the funny thing is I'm setting all these stories in the town that I live in of Medfield, Massachusetts. And they sort of take place at various times throughout the history of the town. I don't know how historically accurate they are. I did not do a whole lot of exploration down that rabbit hole. Probably more than a fair number of assumptions on my part, but that's okay because the goal is to just really have some fun with these episodes. And like I said, we'll keep going. I am going to be writing a special Halloween episode that will be one entire short story within the breadth of the episode. So rather than breaking it up into parts like we're doing for the other stories, this one's just going to be a complete one and done. So we're gonna debut that one on Halloween night as well, which brings me back to the whole idea of just being really familiar with the Pound Cake YouTube channel, because we're going to be curating a playlist of fun stuff that we've done that's horror related, spooky related, what have you. And you can watch that on Halloween. Halloween obviously is going to be very different this year because of the pandemic, unfortunately. And it's one of Pound Cake's goals is to make it as enjoyable as we can, based on where we're at in terms of productions and what we're able to get produced, and so forth and so on. So we're gonna have that available on Halloween night. And jumping back to the whole short movie idea, if I'm able to get done executed and we can get that produced as well, maybe that'll be available as well. I don't know. This time next week, I should have some more news on that front, whether we're actually going to be going for it or whether it's just going to be, we're going to back burner that for now. We'll shoot it later when we have more time and more resources. I don't know. That's how these things go. So, but definitely get out there and check out Night Frights. Please leave a like, leave a comment, share it with your friends and family and your neighbors. And we certainly appreciate it. As a fledgling production company, we need all the love we can get. And this is just the first of many things that we're going to be bringing you. I told you about the tale before. Chris has actually put together some pretty cool cuts of that. He showed me one the other day, so that'll be cool. We just have to work on the audio because the audio sounds like crap right now. But the editing on it is really cool, and I'm excited to get that out to you guys when we can release it. And yeah, that's about it from there. So, Dead Drop 26. This is the end. I will see you guys next week in some form, fashion, way, incarnation. Like I said, if I do end up booking this thing and I'm in Maine next week shooting, I'll shoot it on the iPhone. It'll probably be really poorly lit, and the sound may not be the best either. But one way or another, I will get it out to you guys, and we will talk next week. And I'll have a bunch more news on all the stuff that we talked about tonight, and probably more. So for now, I am Jon F. Merz. Thank you all for tuning in, listening, watching. YouTube.com/PoundCake Media. Check out Night Frights. I will see you guys next week. Be good to each other. Be good to yourselves. Later.